Pistol sprint to fire, you can get from 80 milliseconds or 160 milliseconds tactical sprint down to 5 milliseconds. That is less than a frame, according to him. He said, I think it's about 5 milliseconds. It's hard to even test because it's so fast. Regardless, it's instantaneous pretty much.
Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 314. We are back with another news program, news podcast, news broadcast this fine afternoon. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by young Tanner.
Yeah.
And we are doing an ep. So we haven't done a news podcast in 2 weeks because Tanner was out of town last week in Zion. And for that reason, we're going to be going over the last 2 weeks of news. And there's a lot to talk about as a result. Psych.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole fucking backlog of stuff we got to cover.
There is a backlog of stuff that doesn't exist and we don't need to cover.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show. Yeah, today we're going to be doing news, upcoming changes, all that shit. Very, very light on that. So we've got some other materials to go over, which will be edifying, hopefully, for you guys. But with that said, we're going to do our best and, look to the horizon. Season 3 is coming soon. I believe it's on the 14th, so we got about 2 more weeks. Almost exactly 2 more weeks, in fact, until that happens. And in the meantime, expect more news pods like this, probably. So hopefully next week we have, I don't know. We won't have anything next week, actually. Maybe. Probably not. I was going to say maybe a roadmap. The week after we'll have patch notes for sure, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, welcome to the show. Before we get started, a couple announcements. Welcome to our new gold patrons. Matt D, Scrappy Doom, change it, and Adam C. Welcome, boys, to that absolute patreon.com/thedropshot at the gold tier. Very much appreciated. Better people than you also join the Patreon at a higher tier, of course. Welcome to our new platinum patrons, Daniel L. and Endseeker. Also, absolutely change it.
Endseeker.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, Endseeker. Very, very edgy, man. It's very edgy. Thank you for being a platinum patron, I guess, though. But also, change it, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome, boys, and very much appreciate it. And last and most importantly, the best person of all, upgrading to Damascus, Slumped B, our very new Damascus patron. Thank you, King. Very much appreciated for upgrading. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Bonus eps, early access eps, ad-free eps, etc. Thank you, boys. We also got some new YouTube members. Nikki D rejoining. Also, Tinhead and the Chevmeister, our new YouTube members. Friends of the pod, as they are called on YouTube. Thank you guys very much for that. Get access to the VODs and some more stuff. We'll get into that later. Now, on the topic of the Patreon, for all of our new patrons and existing ones, what have we been doing there? So we're approaching the end of the month. We had an episode go up yesterday. We had one go up today, and we're having one go up tomorrow. What were those topics? So yesterday, what episode went live yesterday, actually? Oh, yeah, we did...
homework report?
Yes. So on Saturday, our last episode, public episode, we talked some more about Ashika Island. We did like an Ashika Island brainstorm, which is kind of like a Patreon episode itself, but that was our Saturday, episode 313. And we had some interesting ideas we wanted to try, and we kind of speculated on whether those things would be good or not on Saturday. And then for the Patreon, we decided we would talk more about that. So basically, after Saturday's ep, we played quite a bit more Ashika Island, and we tried out all the things we thought of trying. For example, changing up the perks, running Molotovs, using a pistol secondary for water endings, etc. We tried everything we said we were thinking of trying, and then we talked about it as a bonus episode for the Patreon for all of our patrons. I thought that was really fun and pretty productive and pretty interesting. I was surprised by some of our results on that episode.
Yeah. Changed some things up with our like gun builds and stuff. Talked about that. That was for the episode where we tried some of the other guns. Like we tried like the Kastov 7.62.
That's also
because
true,
gun's really good on paper. So we talked a little bit about that, what our findings were. But yeah, I like that episode a lot because it was right after the other Ashika one, but it was basically we covered everything that we're like, oh, you know what, maybe we should try this now. And so we tried all that, and one of the biggest things too is changing up the perks. You know, experimenting with overkill, tracker, bomb squad. What's the other one I'm missing there? Strong arm, double time. Talking about our findings with those, running overkill versus not running overkill, etc. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was productive. It was really fun. And yeah, some attachment things too. One spoiler I will give for those of you who have not or cannot listen to that episode, patreon.com/dropshot once again, is that I do think regular recoil control helps with hip fire accuracy. I think that stat in the attachments helps with hip fire accuracy.
Yeah.
I'm fairly convinced of it. I'm not positive, and it's not like a huge fucking help, but it's fairly noticeable, at least in the firing range. So I actually am going to try a build with my hipfire MP5 where I'm running a silencer instead of the collapsed stock. Then I'm running a 40 round mag instead of the 50 to offset the movement penalty from dropping the collapsed stock, obviously. So I'm very excited to try that. I didn't get a chance to yet, but I set that up, I think, yesterday or the day before, maybe.
I think you set it up when we were recording.
Yeah, we had to record all day yesterday. That's right. Yeah, I set it up the day before. So anyway, yeah. Hopefully I can try that today. I'm gonna have to get this up the wolf. Anyway, whatever. So also on the Patreon today, this morning, we did an episode on the state of Call of Duty. It was a long boy bonus ep, again, for all of our patrons. We kind of used JGod's video he released a few weeks ago as a springboard to talk about the state of the game ourselves. It was a new format. It was interesting. We've gotten some feedback that they enjoyed the format. Most of our feedback has just been on the content, which is fine. That means the format wasn't offensive to them. That was good too. That was interesting as well. It was like 2 hours plus, I think. That was a really long episode. I quite enjoyed that one. So if you're a patron, that is live. And then going live tomorrow morning is going to be the state of video games in general. And this is again going to be for all patrons. We actually talk a lot more about Call of Duty in that episode than I thought we were going to. Basically what other games we're playing, what makes them fun, and what Call of Duty could like take from those things, those aspects, why those things are fun, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting discussion as well. And, you know, it's not like anyway, yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but that'll go live tomorrow for all of our patrons. So those are our 3 bonus eps at the gold tier. Once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. Let us know your thoughts as always on that. If you want access, you can sign up whenever. You get access to every old episode, so you would get it as soon as you joined. But yeah, a lot of good Patreon content this month, and then next month we're maybe doing a DMZ episode early before season 3 comes out. If we don't do it then, we probably never will. But it's looking possible that we will. So if you wanted some DMZ content, once again, join that Patreon. The link is somewhere. Here it is, the jingle.
There's the jingle, huh? There's that little tiny jingle. I think I may have a beef stick right now. Is that all right with you?
A little Tillamook. Tilled up. Yeah, I recommended the Tillamook brand beef jerky. Tanner tried it. What are your findings on the Tillamook brand of beef jerky?
It's a great stick. It's a great beef stick.
Yeah, it's a solid little stick, huh?
I'm interested in trying the other flavors now.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the teriyaki the best by far. They're so good. They're so much better than other beef jerky. I've tried a lot of brands too.
Hey, you've been going ham on that beef
my fave.
lately.
Yeah. It's a great snack, healthy snack.
It's a perfect consistency on the stick because they can be too dry and hard and they can be too soft. This has the perfect. It's like when you get like a good quality grilled hot dog and the outside has that crunch that you bite into. It's got that little bite to it. And then the inside is, whatever. Fine. That's how this is. Great bite to it.
Yeah, for sure. Very solid consistency on the Tillamook beef jerky. But anyway, welcome to the show. Today, we're not talking about Tillamook beef jerky. I wish we had a promo code. I'd push the fuck out of it. I think it is the same company as ice cream. Yeah, it's very weird. Today we're talking about Call of Duty. So yeah, news and upcoming changes. I mean, it's been 2 weeks and we have 2 patches to talk about. I will pull them up here. They were largely just bug fixes. So on the 21st, there were a couple of things. I'm looking at callofduty.com here. Some stability improvements for some crashing. Added an animation to the polyatomic camo. People seem to be a fan of this. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah, that was a cool idea. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah. Slightly increased animation speed of the Orion camo. I have not noticed this, but I've not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Actually.
You notice it more like looking at the gunsmith or something when you look at the camo. Not super noticeable in game, but yeah, definitely still a positive.
Yeah, for sure. And then a bunch of bug fixes, one of which is the Kastov 762. It's now hidden in the ranked play loadout UI. So they banned it, I think, earlier than this, but now it doesn't even let you select it, which is good. And then a bunch of bug fixes. I don't know if anything here is super interesting. I
don't think
and
so.
then on the 24th, once again, stability. This update contains fixes for a number of known crashes, hopefully. In ranked, players that don't immediately transition to spectating after being eliminated will now notice their POV fade to black until they begin spectating. That's a very good update if it's working, because it was really dumb in ranked play. When you're playing search, you die, and then for 10 seconds, you're having an out-of-body experience looking over your body with an excellent field of view on the enemy and where they're rotating.
It was very annoying. You would just give really constant comms. Oh, he's going this way. Oh, he went back in the door. Oh, he's going that way. Yeah. Day one shit. Yeah.
Day one shit. So they did it on day 60, but I'll take it. And then other than that, just some other bug fixes. A lot. Again, I don't know if any of these are super relevant.
Fix an issue sometimes preventing the kill cam from triggering. Okay, don't believe
Doubt it.
I believe
I
that
don't
less
believe-
than they
I'll
say
never
they
believe
fixed
it.
the audio, because the kill cams have been broken since Warzone launched. It just won't show them sometimes. So fuck you.
Yeah, it's been insane since MW19 beta actually. So it's just insane. No, that's not true. It was sometime during MW19. Anyway, yeah, fixed an issue that allowed blueprints to apply weapon tuning adjustments. So weapon tuning was banned in ranked, but apparently there was some bug where you could use a blueprint that would let you weapon tune. That's no longer possible according to these patch notes. So I mean, yeah, cool, I guess. I don't know. Nothing was added, or there was no weapon balance. That didn't happen either. Yeah. So that's fun and exciting. But moving on, yesterday, Treyarch tweeted, MW2 ranked play has had some adjustments. Himmelmott Expo Control is staying in the game, but they are removing Himmelmott Search and Destroy, and, to many people's pleasant surprise, Albagra Fortress Control no longer in ranked play. Wow. Incredible. That was the one, as we talked about the last time we did a ranked play episode, that everyone fucking hates because it's impossible to attack. So they just took it out. Which I'll take, I guess.
I think CDL is still playing Fortress, though. I thought...
Oh, really? That would be surprising.
Oh, I guess... Okay, they took a vote. Okay. So on March 28th, 2 days ago, CDL Intel tweeted, I'm told the majority of teams voted to keep Albagra Fortress Control instead of replacing it with Himmelmott Expo. Very few teams wanted to change. And then I guess... the next day, they redid it or did another vote or something, and they voted Fortress out, and Expo is now in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. I guess that'll be in the next tournament or whatever, I would imagine, too.
I would assume so. I would assume that that's why Treyarch's making this change in ranked play. Which I just want to quickly say, I really do like that ranked play almost exactly mirrors the restrictions and like rule set of the CDL. I think that's really cool because there have been games where that has not been true. I know in MW19, even though there wasn't a ranked play, there was like the unofficial CDL mosh pit. It was like unranked CDL mosh pit, so you could play like quasi CDL rules, but like there were so many differences between that. There's so many more things you could do in that than you could do in like an actual CDL tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
So I really like how they're mirroring it like 100%. I think that's really dope. But other than that, that's fucking it in the last 2 weeks. Nothing else going on. Yeah. Now that's not terribly surprising. And again, we do still have Season 3 coming in 2 weeks, so that will be very interesting. I'm very curious what we get on launch of Season 3 versus mid-season Season 3, because there are a lot of things we're getting at some point in Season 3. We're getting Gunfight. We're getting Ranked Warzone. Those are the big ones. What are some other things that they said we're getting?
I mean, everything else is rumors. One-shot snipers, movement speed increases, things like that. So that's all. Those are all leaks. We're not even sure if any of those will come true. My guess would be we get Gunfight on launch of Season 2. We get maybe some core changes to the game. Maybe one-shot snipers come in at the start of Season 2. Hopefully a big weapon balance update, Season 3. A new multiplayer map, whatever. And then we don't see ranked until Season 3 reloaded at the earliest. Maybe even in an update after that whenever they think it's ready. Because especially if they're adding in snipers, one-shot snipers, then they're going to have to figure out how that is working in pubs and what they would change for ranked, if anything. If they're going to restrict them, if they allow them, if anything's different. So they have to figure all that out first. So if I'm like pretty certain about one thing, it's we won't be getting ranked on the launch of Season 3.
So normally I would agree with you that we would get ranked Warzone at Season 3 Reloaded. However, for Season 2, everything I thought we were getting at the mid-season update we got sooner. Like, we got the balloons randomly on Ashika Island like 2 weeks after the update or some shit. We got the new contract on the island. We got the public event on the island. I thought all of that shit was going to be on the mid-season update, which honestly would have made more sense. But then they did everything before the mid-season update. So what I think could happen, not necessarily that it will, but it's possible, is they introduce, like one-shot snipers, maybe gunfight on the launch of Season 3. And then 2 weeks later, we get ranked Warzone before the mid-season update. I think that's also possible. What I do for sure agree on, though, I don't think we're getting ranked Warzone on launch of Season 3. And I think that would be a mistake if we did, also.
Oh, of course it would, yeah. Especially if they're doing any weapon balancing with Season 3, then ranked should not come out that day at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully by next week, by episode 316 of this podcast, we have a roadmap or some more official information on what we're getting in Season 3 and timetables.
Yeah.
But I'm not super optimistic on that, because we still have like 16 days until Season 3, so I don't know.
No, it's like 13.
It's the April 14th is the new season, right?
April 12th.
Oh, I thought it was the 14th.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the 12th. So we will for
12th,
sure have some sort of something by the 8th next Saturday. I don't know if we'll have anything by the news pod on the 6th, though, 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see.
But
so anyway, yeah, we'll keep you guys posted regardless, as always. And now we're moving on to news and upcoming changes. So once again, not too much going on here. With that said, we do have some hidden patch notes, courtesy of our favorite developer, our favorite unpaid developer and QA tester, TheXclusiveAce, friend of the pod. He's been going ham on the videos on his YouTube. We will link everything we're going to be talking about today, as always, in the show notes. And this first video is on TheXclusiveAce aiming stability in MW2/Warzone 2.
Yeah, so this is nothing really new. This is kind of just he did some more testing on it recently. It's nothing to do with like an update they did. But basically, he wanted to talk about how aiming stability affects your recoil in Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, which we've talked about a lot. This game has more aiming sway, idle aim sway than I think, literally probably than any first-person shooter I've ever played in my life. The amount of base sway that guns have in this game is very annoying. It's not a fun feature to have. And for like one of the first times ever in Call of Duty, you need attachments that actually lower that sway on your gun by using aiming stability attachments in general. So he did some testing here for us. I will pull up the screenshots here.
And keep in mind, real quick, by the way, if you're like, I don't care about idle sway because I don't hold angles while ADS, I just shoot. The idle sway that you see when you're not shooting continues while you're shooting. So it's the recoil the gun has plus your idle sway stat. That doesn't stop once you start shooting. So if you lower your idle sway, you're also lowering your weapon recoil, because that means the gun is swaying less when you're shooting the gun.
Yeah.
So it does matter. Idle sway is effectively, or aiming stability is effectively just recoil control stat by a different name that also helps with idle sway. That's why it's like actually important.
Yeah.
Even if you don't care about idle sway itself. So yeah.
So anyway. This screenshot here, he used a Vel 46. All the recoil stats are identical on the guns. I don't remember what attachments he actually said he used. I think for aiming stability, I think he just used the shark fin since there's no downside. But so he showed like a side-by-side in the video. Noticeably less sway when using the aiming idle stability attachments. Like, it is a lot easier to hit that first shot. He was showing on the furthest target in the firing range. The low idle aim stability is going all over the place. So here's the screenshots of the recoil plot. So left side here, the biggest thing you notice is like those maybe like bullets like 4 through 10 or so with low stability. They're really all over the place. They go right, then they go far left, and they kind of go right again. when you have better aiming stability by using like a shark fin or something, as you see in the recoil plot to the right here, those bullets do not vary as much from left to right. They kind of just stay more vertical. And the groupings in general going vertically up, a lot of the bullets tend to hit closer together. Like on this right plot here, when you get about 3/4 of the way up, some of these bullets, like you'll see about 4 bullets that are, you know, basically on top of each other, whereas on the left plot, still, they're going far left, they're going far right, and that's because of the sway is still in effect when you're shooting your gun fully automatic.
Yeah. Yeah, and that first, like you said, shot like 4, 5, those are like the most important bullets.
Yeah.
To be like not missing, you know?
Especially when it comes to multiplayer. Like, that's when you'll be killing the guy by. So that is definitely like the difference between missing a bullet and not missing a bullet. So
yeah.
Then he did this to kind of further show. He basically drew a line between where most of the rounds are impacting, and he shows this. This kind of shows you what a drastic change it is. Here on the left-hand side with low aiming idle stability, it'll go hard left, it'll go hard right. Varies a lot from left to right. Using a shark fin or something to help with your aiming stability, a lot more vertical, a lot easier to control. So basically what he was getting at here is that you should not sleep on aiming idle stability attachments. It is definitely worth focusing on alongside other recoil attachments. So we showed those. Then real quick, he also did the M4. M4 wasn't as noticeable, but still definitely better. It goes more vertical, as you see on the right here, compared to kind of bouncing around a little bit when the aiming stability is worse here on the left. Here's his little plot again. Still, it's so all over the place in this game because the recoil is just way too random.
Yeah.
But bullets are impacting closer. Totally all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, so definitely focus on aiming stability. Especially in something like Warzone, because if that could be the difference between you hitting like your first, second, third shot, that ends up making a big difference, getting that jump on someone. And also in these videos, like as a reminder, we talked about this a long time ago, I haven't recently. If you ever see recoil smoothness on an attachment for tuning, it does not make any measurable difference in any sort of recoil ever from the testing that Ace has done. He's revisited it recently. Every test he's done, that he is not ever able to notice a difference. So forget about recoil smoothness. It simply does not matter. Recoil steadiness is the big one that affects the overall magnitude of recoil. Recoil steadiness, almost to me, when you look at plots of it, looks like you're putting a horizontal muzzle device on your gun. It keeps those groupings a lot closer together, and just the overall magnitude too. Less vertical recoil, less horizontal. So recoil steadiness is the one you want to focus on. Recoil smoothness does not matter whatsoever.
Yeah. I'd like to also add too, if you're going for like max recoil control, I don't think this happens often, but it's possible that it will. If you want more recoil control and you have to pick between a recoil control attachment and an aiming stability attachment, definitely pick recoil control. We're just saying aiming stability also is a separate recoil control attachment. It's not as impactful, so if you have to pick one or the other, pick recoil control still. But don't pick recoil smoothness. Yeah, pick idle stability at that point. Yeah, but usually it's both on an attachment.
Yeah, it's more if you kind of have like a fifth floating attachment for a gun, and you're kind of deciding what to pick. Something like the shark fin is good because it helps with that aiming idle stability, and there's no downside to it. That's the biggest thing. There's no con to it.
Exactly.
So that's why people like that, especially in like ranked or something where you are holding angles more often, and that sway does come into effect a lot, and you'll lose gunfights if you have too much of it.
True.
So yeah, that's an interesting video. It'll be linked. The next one here is Ace talking about sprint out time, Raz's favorite stat ever in Call of Duty, it seems.
Big sprint out guy.
Yes. So this video is kind of a result of the tuning changes we saw in Season 2 Reloaded, where tuning has a bigger impact than it did before. So he did a lot of testing on this. So first up here,
holy shit,
he's showing the sprint out speeds on any gun. So Using lasers like the FSS ULV, the 7 milliwatt, gives you about 10% faster sprint out speed. Using a rear grip that says sprint to fire or aim down sight speed, those give you a 15% improvement to your sprint out speed. So combining those two, 25% improvement.
Yeah, thanks for doing
That's
the
pretty
math
good. Pretty noticeable there. So he goes on to test some guns. Here's the M4. M4 base sprint to fire. He has standard sprint to fire and then tactical sprint to fire. 210 milliseconds and 310. You put a laser and a grip on it, that drops it to 158 and 233. If you tune those fully towards sprint to fire, this is what's crazy. Tuning is so much better now in this aspect. It drops that to 75 milliseconds and 158. So basically, you are way more than cutting the sprint to fire in half on an M4. So you have an assault rifle with tuned attachments for sprint to fire, 75 millisecond sprint out speed compared to a base of 210.
That is shocking, actually. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. So yeah, weapon tuning, just wildly inconsistent. Sometimes it doesn't matter, and sometimes you go from 158 to 75 millisecond sprint out time, which is giga noticeable. Yeah. So if you're tuning anything, tune sprint to fire for sure. That's fucking
if you
nuts.
want a fast gun. The only thing with this is using these attachments is also hitting your recoil control. This is not going to be something you're going to want to use for like Warzone that often, other than some sub builds. But it's these builds will have a lot of recoil, so you just need to keep that in mind. They're for close up. They're for MW2 playing with an SMG or something primarily, probably really rushing with it. Right. So that's just the M4. Next up, he tested the Vel 46. So base speed's 110 milliseconds, 210. When you use the attachments tuned, that goes from 110 milliseconds to 16 milliseconds.
That's
or tactical
insane.
Sprint goes from 210 to 75. That is instantaneous.
That's actually like less than a frame. Yeah, that's
not quite
crazy.
less than a frame. We'll get there, but that is very quick.
Okay.
So that's the Vel 46. Next up here, the RPK goes from like 250 and 375 down to 100 or 167. So that sprint to fire with an RPK ends up being quicker than a base sub sprint to fire. So that's also very good. And last one here, just because it's a pistol, you're not going to use this that often. Pistol sprint to fire, you can get from 80 milliseconds or 160 milliseconds tactical sprint down to 5 milliseconds. That is less than a frame, according to him. He said, I think it's about 5 milliseconds. It's hard to even test because it's so fast. Regardless, it's instantaneous, pretty much. Instantaneous.
You know where this
sprint
would
to fire.
be relevant, though, is
Where?
if akimbo pistols ever become relevant again, then you can just never have to worry about sprint to fire.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross.
Yep.
And these are attachments you're gonna use on an akimbo build, because the sprint to fire laser is also the hip fire accuracy laser.
The grip is where you put akimbo, I'm pretty sure. So you can't change the grip. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
It's the rear
grip.
I
think you're right. Yeah, I think
but
you're
even
right.
then,
but
that
still the laser. Because that's the laser. That's the hip fire.
And with the laser
also.
tune, that's probably like 30. Ends up being about 30 milliseconds or something.
Yeah, really fast.
So the RPK ends up having a faster sprint out time than a base SMG. That's nuts. But yeah, so tuning is definitely different now since the Season 2 Reloaded update. You'll want to mess with it some more when it comes to things like that. But yeah, the tuning changes did not affect everything. Sprint to fire is just one of them that got a major change.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are very not noticeable, and some of them are impactful, and some of them obviously are like this. I'm surprised at the magnitude to which this helps. It's too much, frankly. And I do wonder, because when you're tuning for sprint to fire with the laser and the rear grip, you're tuning away from aim walking steadiness for the laser, which doesn't matter that much. And aiming idle stability, which is the stat we talked about in his last video. I wonder how much more idle sway you're getting tuning this way. Yeah. And how much more recoil as a result.
Probably quite a bit more. He didn't really talk about that. It was just kind of interesting to see how quick those can become. For sure. Literally instant sprint to fire.
The reason I don't think that is that relevant actually is because if you're going to be putting on a sprintify or a rear grip, yeah, what are you putting that on? You're putting that on like a sub, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Yeah.
And you're going to be up close for all those. So like recoil control doesn't matter that much anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty shocking. So
yeah,
those attachments.
Hey,
are really
I would love if
good.
they did that with aim down sight speed, so that I could increase it by or I can decrease the time by 100 milliseconds and have fast ADS. That'd be great if they did that in season 3.
That would be cool.
Holy shit. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it from that video. Again, we'll have that linked as well. Pretty interesting stuff. And then moving on here a little bit more, Treyarch last week released something about ranked play. They said, we released a background update in ranked play matchmaking this morning to improve competitiveness of matches when solo players are put into games against parties. So I think improve competitiveness. Does that mean wait, what does that even mean? Maybe you get placed against worse players that are partied up?
Worse 4 stacks, yeah.
Yeah, that must be it. So you're probably playing against people that are lower rank than you, or about your same rank, versus if you're Crimson, it's not going to stack you against iridescent 4 stack as often or something. That's what that means.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like if you're queuing solo and you are against a 4 stack, they are going to be like lower rank than you, basically, to offset that advantage they have.
Yeah,
that's a solid change.
Yeah,
and if the elo system works, then it shouldn't matter that much, because then if the 4 stack loses, they'll lose less elo because they're against 4 solo players who are higher ranked than them,
Yeah.
So that's a good change. I like that.
Yeah. So that came in last week. We just didn't have that news pod to talk about it. And then almost done. Just a couple more little things here. I saw this on Twitter. Charlie Intel was replying to something Marksman said. CLG Marksman, I think is his name. I don't know. He was basically complaining about multiplayer, how the devs didn't listen to anything in the beta, and they changed the things when it comes to movement, bunny hopping, ADS times, because they want everyone to just walk around and move all slow. And Charlie Intel said this: Infinity Ward did say on the Season 2 content creators call that they were happy with how multiplayer is performing, so I would not expect any multiplayer base changes anytime soon unless they decide to take up the feedback again. Yeah. And that's because they see how many people are playing ranked play. But why are so many people playing ranked play? Because it's a ranked mode and Warzone is dog shit. So they're probably seeing insane player counts on it, higher than ever, higher than since the launch of since a couple weeks after the game launched. And that's the reason. That's what they look at. And on that thought, it's going to be very interesting with the next quarterly earnings report, how they twist this, how they twist their concurrent player base. What are they going to say? Because obviously the player counts are down. They always find some sort of way to twist it to be like, oh, well, this is up, though, and they don't make it sound bad. I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. Because it will be nothing negative. They're not going to say the player base has dropped by 40%. They will find some insane stat that I can't even think what they would do to put in there as, oh, this has been an increase. It'll be something crazy like that. It'll be funny to see.
I'm still very, very curious what the reception to ranked Warzone is going to be. Because I can see it going so many ways, and I honestly can't predict. I just can't predict what it's going to be like, because Treyarch is handling and has historically handled ranked modes very well, and people have always really liked how Treyarch does it. And that continues in MW2 multiplayer. And if Treyarch is in charge of ranked Warzone, then it's pretty likely that it will be pretty well received. But even Treyarch might not be able to save it if the weapon balance is just hamstrung by Infinity Ward dragging their feet and not updating weapons. And then on the other hand, it's possible Treyarch has less of an impact on ranked Warzone than they do on ranked multiplayer. And if that's the case, I have very little faith it's going to be handled well. But then also, even if it's a shitty ranked mode, I feel like a lot of people could play it anyway, or they could not play it anyway. I actually don't know where the wind is blowing on this. I can't I have no idea.
I think Treyarch will be doing the ranked play. I have no idea what the
reception's going to be.
I'm pretty sure Treyarch will be doing the ranked play. It wouldn't make sense. That's the best
chance of it being good.
It wouldn't make sense they would have them design this whole multiplayer system and then also not use a similar type of system or use what they've built for Warzone as well. I'm sure they will.
I mean, I agree, yeah, but they do things that don't make sense all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hope you're right. That's the best chance that Warzone 2 ranked has of being good, is if Treyarch has as much control as possible, basically.
Yeah, the thing is, though, when it comes to like balancing, or not, well, yeah, balancing, they won't have anything to do with gun balancing, so that could ruin ranked. But also like banning guns, that's one thing that I'm not sure Treyarch would do. That probably would be IDub, actually, like what categories get banned, what guns you can use, what attachments are banned, things like that. That would all be IDub. Yeah, that's where it could get ruined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, can a solid ranked system and reward system offset like terrible weapon balance? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you burp? Is that a burp?
No, that was a fart. Shout out to Red Stiletto. So anyway.
Yeah.
Stupid bitch, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So either way, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm very, very, very fucking curious, though.
Yeah. And last thing here from Charlie Intel, rumors of a round-based zombies mode being in COD 2023 is false. No idea where that rumor started, but don't expect that this year. I guess I never even saw this, really. I think there was like one leak or so. It was not making its... It may have been like a Reddit post, actually. But yeah, I guess someone was saying round-based zombies is coming back there. No, I guess absolutely not. Which, yeah, I mean, the last thing I want is zombies taking up even a minute of development time when this year's title will already probably be awful. I don't also want an awful zombies. Just let Treyarch do it correctly and give them until 2024 so we have a good zombies and not ruined again like
I totally fucking
awful
agree.
Dog shit Vanguard zombies. Holy fuck, it was bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad. We should go back and play it. You want to play it after the pod? Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Dude,
shoot
talk though.
Crystal fucking eyeballs or whatever, that stupid bitch. God, that was such a dog shit.
They nerfed her hard and they spawned less
for 45 minutes. Oh, did they? Okay, let me reinstall. Fuck you.
They did. Well, I mean, we played after they nerfed it. It was a lot better, but the game's still dog shit. I've been craving some Cold War zombies.
It's fun, dude.
I'll never install it and play it again. I'm just saying it sounds fun. I've been craving it.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And yeah, last thing, let's just real quick touch on this Iron video, because since we watched that video, we've already been asked 3 times in chat if we watched it. Yes, we've seen the video from its_Iron watching a video of some other guy talking to some supposed cheater that's in a private Discord that gets paid $50 per kill by a company, and they're insinuating it's Activision.
It was per hour. I think.
Whatever. I think it was per kill, and I don't know. They said both. They said $50 a kill, and they also said they stream snipe for an hour.
It's all a lie anyway. So
anyways,
it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yes, we saw the video. I think Iron is out of his mind. I think you would have to be outside of your mind to think Activision is actually paying some random kid on the internet $50 United States to stream snipe random people on Twitch to get them off Warzone 1. They've been getting stream sniped since Warzone launched. No, Activision's not paying them. That kid's lying. Someone's paying him, probably. Yeah, there's some little stream sniping group. No, I don't think Activision is paying anyone to stream snipe Warzone 1 cheaters. Of course not. That's an insane thing, and I hope you guys don't believe that.
I don't think anyone's paying him. I think even that's a lie. I think he's just, because you hear, okay, so
he wants to push the blame onto someone, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm doing it because I want money, not because I'm a fucking loser. That's what I think. So for those of you who are confused, there is a video that apparently is getting a lot of traction because its_Iron, formerly a streamer that I liked, but I can't believe you're this gullible, so I don't like him anymore. Anyway, there's some video where he's been playing Warzone 1 Caldera, and he's been getting stream sniped, I guess, he's been getting stream sniped like every streamer again since Warzone launch. And evidently, there's a video of him listening to a clip of another Twitch streamer who is talking to supposedly the stream sniper. And the stream sniper is explaining to the streamer in the clip that Iron is watching that the stream sniper is being paid by a company, an entity, but he signed an NDA and he can't disclose who that entity is. And he's being paid to stream snipe and cheat against streamers who are streaming Warzone 1 because his client, the company, does not want people playing Warzone 1. And Iron actually believed it. So that is fucking crazy. That is insane. The levels of paranoia and conspiracy there are actually shocking. And I went to sullynome.com to look at Iron's analytics on Twitch. He's averaged in the past week, since he's been playing Warzone 1, 1,400 viewers. Okay. Now, that's a pretty solid number, 1,400 people. If you're like a Twitch streamer and you average 1,400 viewers, you fucking made it. You're like a full-time streamer. That's great. Is 1,400 people on average watching you go a tidal wave of opinion and control over the player base of Call of Duty? No, of course not. So to think that Activision would even consider doing this, it would never even occur to them to do this. Let's join some random fucking Discord where an engine owning Discord and find some kid who cheats and say, hey, sign an NDA. This is so outrageous. Sign an NDA and we're going to pay you to kill streamers who are playing our game, by the way, our old game.
Do you know how quickly that would get leaked if that was real? Some kid would like get some sort of message and be like, dude, look at this shit. Oh my God. I cannot believe. Iron, by the way, is a grown enough man with children and he's believing this shit. I can't believe anyone thinks this is real. Know who's going to think this is real? Lag. Lag, I'm telling you right now, Lag doesn't listen to the pod, so he's not going to hear this. Lag will either DM me or post in the group chat a link to that video, and he's going to say, did you guys see this? This is crazy. Lag, fuck you.
If Lag believes this, fuck Lag too, and I'm banning him from this Discord, yeah. The most shocking part of the story is that Iron actually believes that that's real.
Yeah.
Here's what's actually happening. There's a kid. He stream snipes and aimbots. Okay. And so why do people stream snipe?
Attention.
Well, obviously for attention. Duh, right? So how can I get even more attention?
Very weird thing to do.
Very weird, yeah. How can I get even more attention, which is demonstrably what I want because I'm stream sniping? Well, I can lie and say Activision's paying me to do it. And if Activision's paying me to do it, that absolves me of the negative stigma of just being a cheater just because I'm a loser. No, guys, I'm not cheating and aimbotting because I'm a loser. I'm not stream sniping because I'm a loser. I'm doing it to get paid.
Did they ever say he was... I don't think they said he was cheating. I think they just said he was stream sniping.
I believe in the description or something it said he was cheating also.
Oh, maybe they just call stream snipers cheaters. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, that kid is lying. No one's paying him. He just wants to get more attention, and he also wants to get attention that's not completely negative. He'll take negative attention. That's why he stream snipes. But if he can have positive attention, that's even better. So if he lies and says Activision's paying him, well, then he gets us talking about it and people fucking tweeting about it like it's real. It's such an absurd story. Yeah. And we wouldn't have talked about this unless many of you were asking for our opinion on it. If you believe this, unsubscribe from this podcast. You guys are out of your mind. Yeah. I'm not saying Activision is above doing something like that. Morally, I'm saying they're above doing something like that as far as their time and resources are concerned. It would not be worth it for them.
Yeah.
At all. It would be a complete waste of their time. And Iron's 1,500 viewers, he has no impact. He has virtually no impact on how many players Warzone 2 has. So to think Activision's so invested that they're going to draw up fucking NDAs, like Danielson said, for Activision to draw up an NDA, how much is that going to cost them? For some kid to stream snipe? It's so absurd. It's so absurd. So anyway, yeah, fuck Iron. I can't believe he believes that. So anyway, yeah.
Yep. Cool.
So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Patreon.com/TheDropshot. Best way to support the program. Bonus episodes, early access for the public eps, and ad-free public eps as well. And monthly hangouts, a couple other little goodies. You can check out the site. Or if you just want to support the show, patreon.com/TheDropshot is the best way to do it. Once again, we just released a Patreon video for this month yesterday, today, and one will be going live tomorrow on Ashika, the state of COD, and the state of video games and how that relates to COD. Very solid bonus eps if you have been thinking about joining the Patreon, especially if you're an Ashika gamer. I would strongly encourage you to sign up. Only $5, you get all 3 of those episodes. And you get rebuild in 30 days. It's not at the end of the month. So you can sign up before the end of the month and you won't get double billed. That will always be true. We changed that setting. I don't know why Patreon didn't have that in the first place. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay humble.
Stay humble.